Welcome on back to another Pick Your Poison tournament cast. It's Adrada here. The tournament is organized by Daniela, Comey, and some other great folks. Huge shout out to them for putting this show on. And I'll be casting another matchup from Group I today, which is between RoyaleWithCheese and Void-Dragon. Let's check out their draft first, shall we? You can see the map that has not been chosen by anyone, Nomad, is going to be the map for the first game here. And we've got the home maps Islands and Arena for these two guys. The Civ matchup in the first game is going to be Byzantines versus Celts. And then I assume that is going to be... Well, I'm a little bit confused by the pick order here and by the... Well, yeah, by the way they've put up this draft. But I assume, since Void-Dragon is the lower seed, Arena is got to be the second. So it's got to be Aztecs versus Franks on Arena and then Spanish versus Vikings on Islands? Maybe that is what it is. I'm a bit confused by the draft setup. Either way, those are the matchups. Not sure what maps they're going to play with each of those civs. Not too important though. We've got just a tiny bit of a closer matchup in terms of seeding than the previous one that I've cast here. RoyaleWithCheese is the 6th seed of this group, and Void-Dragon is the 11th. So could be quite a close matchup here. We'll see how it actually plays out in game. So I suggest we just hop right in there and see how these games went, shall we? First off, we've got Nomad, of course, so that's going to be interesting. Byzantines versus Celts. Probably not the most common matchup on this map, but that is the trend of this tournament. Very close together was the villager spawn here for RoyaleWithCheese, whereas much further apart on the other side for Void-Dragon. We'll see. We've got Byzantines versus Celts, of course. Let's check out what the Civ boni are for both of these guys. I don't think you've necessarily seen both of these civs in a tournament already, although I might be wrong. I've cast a lot of games at this point and it's difficult to keep track of everything, of course. Anyhow, for Void-Dragon on the Celts, it is a very famous meme civ, but just in general, the marquee bonus that they have is the wood cutting bonus. 15% faster working lumberjacks, pretty good bonus. Cannot complain about that. Interestingly, he's only putting up the town center with one villager right now. I wonder what that was caused by. At least has the dock up already, but so does his opponent in RoyaleWithCheese. Well, other than that, Celts are of course super well known for their siege. They've got the faster firing siege and also the faster producing siege workshops. So maybe that's what some of the direction that Void-Dragon is also intending to go in with this one. We'll have to see about that. Other than that, nothing stands out about them. The extra HP for the siege units from Furor Celtica is of course only relevant then in the late game. Road Raiders as an infantry unit are super cool and oftentimes underutilized, I feel like. Maybe you can see a few of those as well. It's just not the first thing that Celts tend to go for, but since the new patch with the healing castle for infantry units, maybe they're gonna go more towards castle play. We'll have to keep an eye out for that, because that could be exciting, potentially. Now, on the other side, Byzantines, we have seen them before here. Is a very classic civ as well. The extra HP on the buildings comes to mind. The cheaper trash units, that is really the two things the Byzantines are known for in Age of Empires 2. Well, other than that, it is just cheap to advance to Imperial Age with them, so that is also very useful on pretty much any map, but especially on maps where you really want to get towards maybe trap production, and traps plus trash is quite the popular combination for Byzantine players. That's not everything they have though. They've got the faster attacking fire ships, which could be very useful on Nomad, where fighting over the water economy is something that happens more often than not, actually. And with the Cataphract as a possible heavy cavalry alternative, could be quite interesting as well. Well then, I think we've covered all the bony that are relevant. The free town watch and town patrol are actually underrated though, because that provides a lot of vision on a map where you typically struggle with vision here. Oh yeah, also cheaper camels is something I have not mentioned, but Celts not typically well known for their knights is definitely an option though, since they have the paladin upgrade. Maybe if the Celt paladins come in, the cheaper camels might save the day. Now, well, let's check out what both of these guys have gone for on water first, because that is oftentimes interesting to me. The Celt have put up their dock over here, but have not made a single fishing ship so far. Really struggling with the housing department here. It's not the best early start for them, definitely. We've got 2 more villages already for the Byzantines, plus the 2 fishing ships that they have in the lead. So definitely a way better start early on for RoyaleWithCheese. And maybe White Dragon is not a huge nomad player, or not a huge water player at all. We can't know, of course. He didn't pick any of the water maps and banned Golden Swamp. So it's tough to know. I don't know any of these guys personally, of course, but it's definitely, well, it's definitely a thing to keep an eye out for. At least now the fishing ship production, excuse me, has started putting out another one, but already behind quite a bit of the opponent there, both on land and on water is the main part here. I would expect in that case that RoyaleWithCheese should be the first one up to Feudal Age, but of course on Nomad there's a lot of variables going into this. Very conservative house wall here, interestingly. Doesn't want to waste any space or any time walking rather, and cost himself quite a lot of space with that. Now scouting around with another villager as well. Let's check out the vision for both these guys. Are they aware of where each other are and where each other's docks are at? He might have spotted this one. Yeah, I think he... it's tough to tell. It also looks like he spawned there with a villager maybe, and thus doesn't know that these houses are actually there. Other than that though, good scouting here for Blue. I mean, they see quite a lot around their initial base, although not much of the rest of the map, so it's pretty decent for Nomad standards here. The other side, also really decent there for the Celts. They've made it a point to also get a lot of vision around their town center. Remember that they only built it with 1 villager initially, so that's maybe where a lot of the, well, vision is coming from. Scouting with the sheep, also good job. That is something you need to do on Nomad to maximize really your vision. Another house being put up again, pretty badly housed here, not able to produce fishing ships or villagers right now. It's not smooth sailing so far for White Dragon. He doesn't know it, but he's extending his house wall closer and closer to the enemy. Who has... Oh, did he spot it just there? I don't think that Royal would have seen the houses there with the luring villager. But it is funny how sort of close these two are together already. And my prophecy has come true though. Feudal Age in for RoyaleWithCheese already. He's up to a terrific start. He is definitely not going to be complaining about that one. He even has another deer left over still. And the Celts taking a bit longer here. No gold having been mined just yet by them. Either. Nobody, of course, here has been on gold just yet. I just want to point out that typically when you go up to Feudal Age later, that is because you want to do a fast castle. If that were the case, though, you'd need to go to gold at some point, and the gold definitely isn't out of reach for White Dragon, so to speak. So, shouldn't be an issue if he was trying to do that. However, being behind in villages, it's only natural that the feudal upclick would be a bit later, and that is gotta be scary. I mean, put yourself in this guy's shoes. You don't see the enemy, you don't know where they're at. All you know is that they're ahead to Feudal Age. They even reached it before you even clicked up. So at this point you might start sweating there as the Celts. I mean, the wood cutting bonus is pretty good. Let's compare the early game impact of this bonus, shall we? Where is it? Statistics, wood collected. Okay, we're even in wood collected, despite the Celts having 1 less on wood as far as I can tell. Well, that changed now. Okay, so they're heavily transitioning over now. And it looks like they are trying to go especially fast to the next age here. They have put 5 onto gold, so that tells me either they want to go for archers, but this is not a standard infantry play. It's not like they're looking to go for men-at-arms or anything. You don't need 5 on gold in order to do that. You would do that if you went for a double archery range or something, but no, this is definitely a fast castle attempt by the Celts. Very funny there by the Byzantines. They are currently putting up the mining camp right outside the Celts town, and they've got the vision there. So, oh, it's not a mining camp, excuse me, it's just the mill. I was gonna say, are they attempting to mine the stone there at the opponent's doorstep? They are not, but they now have vision of their opponent for the first time. As you can see, the town watch really coming in clutch here. Has vision of the entire enemy land there. Even getting some good hits on the opponent's villager there down south. That's going to be the first villager pick of the game, and further damage to the Celts eco, already behind 4 to 5 eco units, and gonna have to figure out a way to deal with this one. They are producing some infantry. They are going for men-at-arms. Okay, I was completely wrong. Apparently you just put 5 onto gold. I don't like this, because you are already late to the next age, and then you just go for blind infantry, not really knowing what the opponent is going for. I think there's a bit of an overcommitment onto infantry, but now with the scouts coming in, maybe the men-at-arms can pay off. He's also got spearmen in the barracks, and yeah, sending them out now to make sure these scouts are going to be dealt with. That's a big investment though. So much gold was tied up in these men-at-arms, and I think he lost 3 of them there, didn't he? Wow, that is big loss here. 3 men-at-arms at 60 gold, as well as the the man-at-arm upgrade, of course, also costing 40, I believe. So, ouch. Pretty rough trade. At least he's getting something back here now with the spearmen trading much more effectively. But yeah, the enemy just has more spearmen. So it's looking rough for the Celts already. That's not the game 1 star that you were hoping for here. This is a gap, isn't it? It looks like a gap. Weird to tell if there's a gap in there or not. Either way, the Byzantines got through. And despite not having the strongest attack on these units, so they're not going to be taking out any villages, it just makes it impossible to put up any more buildings. And maybe right about now, this when Void Dragon is reminiscing about the chance he had going for a fast castle instead of this here. Although, if he was now faced with this army from the Byzantines and he arrived to Castle Age now, there's not a lot he would be able to do against that either. So maybe I'm a bit wrong there and judging him unfairly. Either way, he's now fighting with villagers against spearmen and scouts. If there were any armor upgrades on these opponent's units, this could have been a terrible trade for the Celts. But as things stand, they are trading quite okay. The micro is fine. It looks like most of these units have gone down. Only the scout able to escape with his life. But yet, Void Dragon considerably behind. 12 eco units behind at this point. 9 of those being villagers. 2 fishing ship difference. And the faster firing fire ships. It's curious to me. Honestly, Byzantines here going for only 4 fishing ships, but 3 fire ships. If I'm investing that heavily into navy, I put out more fishing ships to actually make use of the space that I'm buying myself. At this point, the opponent really can't contest water anymore, and you know that they're in a pretty bad spot judging by the score alone. My lord, 700 score difference 20 minutes into the game is pretty much unheard of. That's a rough look. And now even a very sneaky tower coming out. I can only assume because I can't really... Yeah, there we go. A tower denying that woodline. If I'm the Celts, I'm hating my life right now. I can't even deny this tower. Very efficient placement there, even with the palisade walls. And the opponent is taking resources on my doorstep. I cannot do anything against that. I don't like this situation. Byzantines up to Castle Age as well. This looks like really smooth sailing for our favorite in this match. In the game 1 of the series. And Celts are gonna have to figure out something quick in order to reply to this. Already the preemptive skirmishes out of the Byzantines maybe saw the archer range going up, so you can't even make archers against that Byzantine spearmen. Well, the spearmen had been taken out already anyway, so maybe no archers needed. But now it's heavy focus on skirmishes there for the Byzantines. I wonder why they're going that heavily, but maybe just seeing the archer range go up is what prompted them to do this. This is the weirdest tower I've seen. Wow, that is pain. Why are we putting a tower there though? Is the stone this important? Maybe he thinks getting a castle up is the last thing that can save him here. Could be. And a tower is being dropped on his mill though, which is gonna be just the biggest pain in the butt ever. Let's see if RoyaleWithCheese is going to be able to put up this tower. It looks like he could force it up if he wanted to, but he's losing a lot of villagers. And no, not like this. Oh, he's trying to let this skirmisher tank, but a little bit late on that micro. So that is a big investment that Void Dragon was able to deny. I don't think RoyaleWithCheese should have even attempted to put up that tower after he saw the enemy tower being constructed. Now, still, he's denying a lot of resources. This tower denying all of that wood line. This tower denying a huge part of, well, a few of the tiles from the mill, making it very inefficient for villagers to collect there. It's an amazing start for Royale. He's 10 villagers up. He's already in Castle Age. Celts just now on the way here. Elite Skirmisher upgraders come in. I wonder what RoyaleWithCheese's plan is here, because he's relying so heavily on these skirmishers, which of course are cheap for the Byzantines. But what are we making in addition, right? We can't just have fire ships and skirmishers as our army composition. We're not really pushing anything with that. And especially if the enemy is going to go for their well-known siege, that could pose some trouble here. The one spearman in the barracks, maybe just to make the enemy reconsider. It's tough. Void Dragon has forced their way up to Castle Age, but has not been able to collect any stone, so the castle drop is not an option. All he's got is food and gold right now. Now, himself being castle dropped by the Byzantines, who, remember, have tanky buildings, so once those buildings go up, they don't tend to go down soon. And I don't see how Void Dragon would be able to deny this. This could very well be the GG castle. It's going to deny the last wood line that the Celts have left. There's only one in the north right now left over for him. And that could be so easily denied that I don't see how to recover from this for Void Dragon. What a clinic from RoyaleWithCheese here. Capitalizing a lot on that early eco advantage that, admittedly, Void Dragon kind of gave up without being really forced to. It was some pretty unprompted mistakes there. But still, a good water play here, not over investing into water and then putting the pressure on at all times. There's no place to farm, there's no place to chop wood for Void Dragon, but he's still sticking around. Surely this is gonna be it, right? I mean, he's actually sealed into his base. He's got no way to escape towards. And he can barely work like 10 farms and the pile of gold. There's just no way out of there. I mean, the stone, I guess, is pretty nice. The tower here, one tile too far away, sadly, in order to deny that stone for Royale. That would be the absolute capital. Maybe actually the Bodkin arrow. Yeah, all you need is Bodkin arrow. Then those stone miners can't even chop anymore. Yeah, this is surely it. I mean, Void Dragon is trying to refuse reality here. He's fighting on, which, fair enough. But there's no coming back from this. He doesn't even have water anymore. Although he made a demo. Okay. Well, no trade cocks in this series apparently, but as Bodkin arrow comes in, these stone miners are completely out of sorts as well. No castle gonna be able to be made, and the town center are dead as well. So it's gonna be RoyaleWithCheese who takes the first victory in the series, and another series where the favorite is coming off to a very dominant start here. Void Dragon having some troubles for sure. Well. Yeah, he doesn't have any. I was just trying to see, can he work any rest anywhere, but no, he doesn't have any villagers out and about. He's trying to Oh god, the stone miner. Look at him. This is, oh man, he's getting poked from all sides. Oh, it's terrible. It's really pitiful. TC now down. And that's the last 27 villages that Void Dragon is going to have in this game. GG, alright, the GG finally comes in. It was a bit of a slow ending here, but honestly, one of the best games I've seen in tournament so far. RoyaleWithCheese, being given that lead, he never looked back at all. He always had military on the enemy for the entirety of this game. That was pretty impressive showing out of the 6th seed here in Bracket I. It really shows that these players are a bit better than me, I can't lie. Cheese, oh, didn't even see you pop up in chat, but doesn't surprise me while you would be cheering for for the blue player here. Yeah, it was a really good game. Honestly, really good performance. Cannot complain at all about this. Let's take a glance at the draft again as we load up game number 2, which is going to be on the home map for Void Dragon, and that should be, if I'm reading this draft correctly, Arena. So let's see if that's actually true and what these guys ended up doing. Yep, there we go. Vikings versus Spanish on Arena is going to be the matchup. That is a bit weird, honestly. I don't think, yeah, that's not how the draft order is supposed to go, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, I don't think. Either way, we're getting a fun matchup here. Spanish and Vikings on Arena is really curious, because those are two civs that I think are pretty decent on this map, so I wonder how they managed to get their hands onto those. I'll head on over into the game here momentarily. Give me just a second as I load it up. Alright, yep, there we go. So, 1-0 up is the favorite, RoyaleWithCheese. We're playing on Arena, Void Dragon's home map. And he's managed to get his hands on the Vikings. Let's see if he can show a strong bounce back performance here. And take, control of the series. Well, it wouldn't be control, since he would still have to win on his opponent's home map, but he needs to stay alive first and foremost. That's first. Interesting map generation where Void Dragon only has this little backyard here, and RoyaleWithCheese has a much thinner but longer one with 2 gates. Just much more free space that was given to him. This little alcove here on the side isn't really going to do much for the Vikings. So a bit more free space for the Spanish, I guess, is what I would say. Well, at least in exchange, the relic generation is closer to Void Dragon's space, so maybe that is fine. Fine trade-off. Yeah, seems okay. I mean, that backyard thingy is not gonna decide the game, I don't think. Alright, so let's pull up the civ details then, shall we? Looking at the Vikings first here for Void Dragon. A well-known eco boomer civ. The longer, well, in Feudland and Castle Age, they get huge spikes in their eco from the free handcart and wheelbarrow upgrades. So that is cool. I mean, you definitely take that on Arena. Other than that, of course, they've been a strong performing infantry civilization ever since the new patch here in April. So definitely scary here. Luckily for the Spanish on the other side, they are well equipped to deal with this, but let's round up the Vikings first. They've got good archers, remember, fully upgradable arbalests, missing only thumb ring. So that's the one thing that they are missing from being fully upgradable. Their naval bony are sadly not going to be put to use on this map, but of course with the extra Bo3 upgrade that they got from this patch, even bolstering the archery line further, could be pretty good. So infantry and archers are very potent for the Vikings. That's what we want to keep in mind out of this one. The extra HP on infantry especially. Tanky infantry is very tenacious and difficult, especially once it gets into your eco. Now, why do I say the Spanish are well equipped to deal with this? They have conquistadors at their unique unit, which are mounted hand cannoneers. Hand cannoneers are the, well, stereotypical counter unit for infantry. You never want to fight hand cannoneers with infantry, it cannot work out. No matter the upgrades you have, no matter the infantry you have, you're gonna lose against hand cannoneers. It's just gonna happen, you gotta be honest with yourself. So, if the Spanish are able to get to their cannoneers, hand cannoneers, to their conquistadors safely, the Vikings are really gonna need something else than infantry to deal with that. Their archery line is a fine counter, so it's not like they don't have any tools for that. You just can't go champion or berserk spam into GG, is basically what I want to say. Now, the other bonus for the Spanish, because they also got a nice little buff in this April update, they get free gold whenever they research a technology. And it only sounds pretty negligible there, getting 20 gold for every tech that you research, but I think many people underestimate how many technologies you actually research in a game, especially early on. And 20 gold early on can really go a long way. Now in Arabia, that can manifest itself in one more militia or swordsman that you can get for every tech that you research. But here on Arena, you typically aren't going for drushs. So mainly interesting is the possibilities for the fast castle here. You might not even need to collect any gold if you go fast castle and research 5 techs on the way. So maybe if you get town watch, if you get horse collar, double bit axe, that's 3 technologies already. You just need 2 more. So maybe you just get the infantry attack or armor upgrades. That's all of these techs that I just named don't cost any gold. So if you get those 5, you can get up for free to Castle Age, basically. Well, not for free, just without collecting any gold. That's one example of how to put this unit bonus to good use. But even if you don't try to develop a specific strategy around it, it just will naturally help you out throughout the game, because you really pick up a lot of technologies. I would say between 10 and 30 techs every game, so that is 200 to 600 free gold. Nothing to scoff at. Yeah, the other bonus for the Spanish, I mean, blacksmith upgrades not costing gold is big, because of course, as I mentioned, this plays into your tech bonus, where you don't even pay any gold for the blacksmith techs, and you still get free gold for them. But that is basically it, right? That's the significant bonuses. The faster working builders aren't that impactful here on Arena. And, the faster firing gunpowder units, of course, is pretty big, right? So you got the hand cannoneers, the bombard cannons mainly, and then, of course, the conquistadors as well, firing super quick. So it is tough to deal with Spanish congs once they have been massed. Both of these civs are civs that typically like to build up and scale towards at least late Castle Age, but honestly into Imp. So, well, honestly, it's difficult to say which of these guys is going to be forced to be active first. Spanish seem to be way up in pace here in terms of advancing to the next age. Void Dragon here on the Vikings only now starting to go up to Feudal Age, whereas the Spanish are already there. There they are up to the next age. They've got 200 gold already, and they're putting up their 2 buildings immediately. This is going to be a 26 villager Castle Age for the Spanish. Look at that, and he can even afford to research Loom if he hasn't already. Let's see. He has not. So if he researches Loom here, he even still will have enough gold to go up to Castle Age afterwards, because of the Spanish bonus there. 20 free gold, remember, for every tech that you get. So he's way ahead of the curve, I would say. He just spent some gold. I wonder what that was on. He just had 230 gold. I wonder what he used that on. I'm a bit confused. Either way, he's going up the castle now, selling some wood. I wonder what happened to his gold, but maybe I'm just, yeah, maybe he just misclicked, bought something in the market, I don't know. Either way, he's way up in pace. He's up to the castle age before his opponent even reaches feudal. So far, I'm pretty scared if I'm the Viking player. Like, really. I mean, he's also probably gonna get a smooth fast castle transition here. He's got 500 wood, so that's well enough to go up, well, to put up the buildings and go up to the next age. He's making a stable right now, so he's going for some very unconventional Viking play here, with some scouts apparently, and also the blacksmith at home. But, ooh, did the Spanish manage to spot that or not? Oh, I think they did. I think he did while he just rode on over there. Oh, it's tough to tell. Yeah, they must have. Alright, so now you know your opponent is going for an unconventional strategy, and you're way up on pace to get to Castle Age. So, it's a great spot to be in. At least Castle Age now also queued, so it's only a 2-minute differential roundabout for the Vikings. Not the end of the world, but so far it's been cleaner for the Spanish, definitely. A double bit-axe horse collar only coming in now, so that's going to be a huge gold injection here. Only one village on gold, but look at his gold skyrocket here. There he goes, horse collar, another, bam, plus 20, 111. And honestly, I'm pretty nervous here. You already have 6 on stone. That's going to be 650 stone needed for a castle. He's going to have that within like half a minute, and then the Vikings are going to be in some serious trouble. At least Dragon has done a really good job of collecting stone himself. Immediately, the moment he's going to hit Castle Age, he's going to be able to drop a castle. So, if the Spanish elect to go for a forward castle, the Vikings are going to have the necessary tools to respond to that. Only issue being, the Spanish don't need to drop a forward castle. They could also just drop their castle at home or on one of their resources and start collecting and start building up conquistadors. Going towards, well, typically you want to make typically the Vikings want to scale towards Imp. The Spanish actually want to use their conquistadors in Castle Age, since that is the massive power spike. But if you are ahead in the game by a big margin, you can afford to just go towards Imp and then roll with traps. I feel like. Castle comes out at home for the Spanish. I like that. You don't need to try anything crazy. Right? You could drop it on the resources somewhere as well, but just the home castle there is an okay play. And same thing for the Vikings. They also are electing to go for more of a defensive castle, securing the stone in front of their gates. Very unfortunate. Oh no, there's the gold. I was gonna say, how far away is that secondary gold? It is right there, so it's not the end of the world there. Has also started mining his backyard. Now I wonder if anybody is gonna go for a big villager boom here. Are we gonna see anybody go in the 3 TC direction? Vikings have pulled most of their villages off stone, so that's not gonna be happening for them. But the Spanish are still heavily on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up going for a 3 TC play here. Of course, the other option is they could also go for a second castle at some point and try to really go for a conquistador all in. Wouldn't really love that. I think you should still prioritize your economy, because you're playing, both of these guys are playing as very strong eco-civs that if I'm playing against them, I'm just thinking, okay, this guy's definitely trying to out-eco me. So you cannot afford to fall too far behind there. Outpost coming out for Void Dragon. He's going to be able to kill that scout if Royale isn't running, but good awareness there to run away and actually bring it over the monk is huge. Wow, that is a real nice play. Able to bring over the monk, was probably just looking for that relic, but very nice adaptation to convert the enemy spearman, and now it's a Void Dragon on the run who cannot put up that outpost, and that's some significant map control lost. Really inconvenient. Idle town center for Void Dragon? Oh no. Oh, but both of these guys with some idle TCs, at least the Spanish, having put up the second one already, still have one producing. They only got 4 on food right now, so it's a bit awkward. Yeah, absolutely. This is not what you love to see. You need way more on food if you want to sustain a double town center production. So I praised Royale's build earlier. Now is the first point where I can say it's not as clean anymore, but still he's in a fine spot, I would say. He's got the castle up. He's 2 town centers, and well, he's got a ton of wood. This is This has happened in every arena game that I've cast in this tournament so far, is people just way overcommitting onto wood. And you need a lot of wood if you want to put up all these farms. And now a third town center coming out for the Spanish, and yeah, the consequences have been drawn. Consequences are in. He's recognized he needs way more farms if he wants to sustain two, well, let alone 3 town centers. 3 town centers now also coming out for Void Dragon, but I'm not sure he's even going to get this one up there with the Spanish. Very intelligently patrolling there. First 2 conks out on the map. A monk response there by the Vikings is interesting. In low numbers that can of course work out very well, but you've got to be so careful because the conquistadors can ride in way quicker than you would think and snipe out your monks. So you really got to be on top of your game there. You can't go forward for this relic now. You cannot do this. Oh, it's exactly what I was talking about. He just gives away his monk. Oh, you knew the conquistadors were there too. White Dragon, he's really got to step it up here. It's his home map. He needs a victory here. At least was able to put up that town center there. Good positioning of the villagers. And he's now on 3 TCs as well. But same problem. He's only 10 on food. He cannot sustain production out of even 2 town centers. So it's a bit of an awkward build. RoyaleWithCheese now even buying food in order to manage to keep all those town centers running, I assume. Well, that's of course the hard way to do it, but I don't disagree with it. Still keeping 6 on stone. Maybe he should have transitioned some of stone while putting up those town centers and added more back on stone later on. Because you want that stone for more castles, for sure, as another monk goes over here. I don't know. I cannot be okay with this. He just loses another monk randomly walking in there to pick up the relic. Sends even another one forward. Was lucky that RoyaleWithCheese actually took this relic. Now, if RoyaleWithCheese was like 500 IQ, he just leaves the relic there and lets 10 more monks walk in there to try and pick it up. Man, White Dragon. The reason I'm getting so frustrated is because I'm usually really rooting for these underdogs to make something happen. And now he's just having monks stand around here out in the open, waiting to be picked off by those enemy conquistadors and scouts. So I struggle to see how he's gonna actually get an advantage here at any point in the game. Losing another monk and probably this one as well. I don't think this conversion is gonna come in time. Yeah. Is that 4 or 5 monks lost right now for the Vikings already? That's 400 or 500 gold. But I mean, really good attention by Royale to always. He's been absolutely A+ with unit control in this game. I mean, the denial of the outpost was really nice, and then picking off the enemy monks without losing a single unit all throughout is pretty good as well. Not what you see oftentimes in low elo, but I've said this a lot of times already. Monks are difficult to handle, and most low elo players cannot make full use of them. I include myself in that very much, by the way. I love monk play, but I rarely ever go for it because I know I'm just so subpar with it, because the micro is so demanding. 3 TCs for the Vikings. If you look at the idle time, very comparable to the Spanish, so at least he didn't lose out on any pace there compared to his opponent. But still behind 18 villagers, just because the Spanish had their extra TCs up that much earlier. Also, having lost one of the villagers is pretty annoying. Must have been to a boar or something, because Royale didn't get the kill. Might have also converted it, though, in all fairness, so I'm not sure exactly what happened to that will. Still, the stable that the Vikings made really didn't yield them anything. I don't think they produced any units out of it, and they're currently sitting at 0 military units as well. I wonder what the plan is. Maybe it's 1,000 gold and stone floating, so maybe there is no concrete plan as of right now, because I was thinking maybe he's just trying to go up to Imp as fast as possible. Could be, I mean, but he's got stone for 2 castles right now, and he's not dropping any, so he's got a lot of rest that he's not making use of, and that means he's just falling behind the curve here in terms of pace. 40s is up for the Spanish. The food eco is looking great right now. The eco upgrades are also in, the relevant ones at least. Man, this is a really solid play by Royale with cheese. He's also not going for anything on offense right now. I mean, maybe he could harass a little bit. That is something I tend to do way too little, and maybe you could make the argument that he is as well, but hey, he's putting up more TCs, so at least he's not being idle and doing nothing. It's going to be 6 TCs once these two go up, and honestly, even though Void Dragon has 3,000 reds and more floating right now, actually 4,000, I assume it's going to be Royale with Cheese who goes up to Imp first. It's got more food, and that's kind of the capper right now. Well, wow, he even converts another villager. Are you serious? Oh man, he's really paying good attention to these monk wars. Able to convert a villager there from the Vikings. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but he's getting so many small victories that it's starting to add up. And having double the town centers of your opponent is also nothing to scoff at. Here, 25 villager lead already. You wouldn't even need to make any more villages if you're the Spanish here. But I still think it's a good idea to make more. Going up to 130, 140 on Arena, if you're playing a Civ with such expensive units as the Spanish, definitely a good idea. And as I said, it would be Spanish up to him first, with the Vikings having 1700 gold, 1700 stone in the bank and just not making use of them at all. I wonder what the game plan is. I can't even tell. You've got chieftains coming in, so maybe he's looking for infantry. He's got double infantry armor upgrades. Then again, he's got the double archery damage upgrade. So what are we actually looking for? He's got one crossbowman out. I mean, is it the crossbowman? He's got 5 in the field. He's also got 3 berserks. So maybe berserks crossbowman is the comp. I wouldn't hate that, because again, I mean, crossbowmen are fine into conquistadors. You can definitely do that. If you check out the conquistadors here, only 1 PS armor. Of course, with the 1 from the upgrade, could get some more upgrades in there. But I'm just saying, archers tend to be pretty effective against them. Berserks, on the other hand, are not. Even if you get your chieftain's upgrade, which he did get, which is a lot of bonus damage against cavalry, you're never gonna get in range against the conquistadors. So if the opponent is going only conquistadors, then archers are your best bet. Now, what is this? What is the idea? What's Royale gonna bring alongside those conquistadors? Is what I'm wondering about. As finally, some more castles are being dropped here by Void Dragon. You can almost drop another 2 after this here. That's how much resources, how many he's got left in the bank. But that's the production buildings coming forward, and I think it's gonna be knights for the Spanish. He's got all the cavalry upgrades. Well, he's got a few of them anyways. He's getting a bunch more husbandry as well. He's up to Imp now. Could be a cavalier paladin type push here in a second. Void Dragon 2 minutes away from Imp, getting elite skirmisher. I mean, skirmisher's okay against conquistadors, don't get me wrong, but I thought you were gonna go for crossbowmen. You've got enough gold. Got a pretty good eco running. I mean, you've got that TC and you've got still. In total, that's still 6,500 gold left over. So you can definitely go for a mass of crossbowmen and arbalists. Wonder why the skirmishers are coming in. Because I don't think you're expecting archers out of Spain here.
though? Monday?